Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. I'm Nicolette Hodge. Welcome to We Reflect the Light. Right, sisters and brothers? It's a wrap for America. The war in the Middle East is in full throttle, and we know exactly how this war is going to turn out. The angel, which is the unsealed scriptures, the unsealed book of Revelations, tells us exactly how this war will turn out, tells us exactly who's involved, how they are aligned with each other, and what to expect at any moment, sisters and brothers. So we have all the information we need to stay several steps ahead of these devils at all times, so that we can move out on the information and come out on top of this. So let's get right into it. This is chapter 12 of Revelations, verse 7 through 9. And occurred war in the heaven. The Michael and the angels of him, of the two war with the dragon. And the dragon warred in the angels of it. And not it proved strong. Not but place was found of them yet in the heaven. And was thrown the dragon, the great, the serpent, the archaic, the being called devil and the Satan, the making to err, the being inhabited whole. He was thrown into the earth, and the angels of him with him were thrown. All right, sisters and brothers. This verse identifies exactly who is involved and who is going to win and who will lose. So the Michael and the angels of him, so Michael and his angels, go to war with the dragon and his angels. So we have two different groups here. Michael and his angels, the dragon and his angels. We're also given a location. And occurred the war in heaven. Understand that heaven is the Middle East, sisters and brothers. So this tells us exactly where this war is taking place at. And that's exactly what's happening right now. And we have been telling you that this war is going to happen. When they were talking peace and safety, we told you no. There will be no peace and safety there. And when they say, we point it to the scriptures, when they say peace and safety, sudden destruction will come. So they talked about going back to the JCPOA deal. We let you know, sisters and brothers, no. There will be no going back to the JCPOA deal. So we are reflecting the light that is being given, provided by the breaker of the seven seals, the messenger of the covenant, Daniel the prophet, who has been given this information to us for the last 35 plus years. He is the breaker of the seven seals, which all this information has been revealed by the breaking of the seven seals of the angel, which is the book of Revelations. So this is our guide, sisters and brothers. Doesn't matter what they're saying on the news. Understand it's all propaganda. America's going to say whatever they have to say to keep you from panicking and keep you exactly where they want you until they destroy us, which they will not be successful. However, they're dealing with us shrewdly. They have all these shrewd plans against us. So no matter what they're saying on Twitter, no matter what Fox and CNN is saying, this is our guide. This is the true light. In this time of darkness, it tells us exactly what's going on, who's who, what's what, time frames, locations, everything that we need to successfully navigate getting out of America, to successfully exit and make our exodus out of here, up out of America, because we're leaving, sisters and brothers. So who's Michael and his angels and who's the dragon and his angels? These are the two groups that are fighting against each other right now in the Middle East. Let's keep moving. Michael and his angels. Michael is the God, Master Farad Muhammad. He's faithful and true, and so is his angels, Iran and Syria. They are our brothers. All right? The dragon and his angels is the house of Assad, and his angels are America, Britain, and false Israel. The angel tells us that Michael and his angels are going to win this war. They will be victorious. And the dragon and his angels are going to lose this war. Not only will they lose, they will be thrown out of the Middle East. They will be thrown out of heaven. Heaven is the Middle East. So we are told exactly who is going to, we're told the outcome of this war in detail. Who's going to win, who's going to lose, who's aligned on each side. Then we learn that this is a Shia versus Sunni conflict as well, because the Sunnis have aligned themselves with America, Britain, and false Israel. So this is also a religious war. If you notice, Michael and his angels, that group is, just from looking at this picture, you see that group is smaller than the dragon and his angels. But it's not about numbers, sisters and brothers. It's about high pressure. And high pressure defeats low pressure. So it can be this extremely large ocean of water, but if one pebble is dropped into that water that's higher pressure, it's going to cause pressure waves. So I'm hoping that that's an understandable example for you. However, the point of the matter is it's not about numbers. It's about who has the high pressure, who's more disciplined, who has more power. And Iran has already won that battle right there, having more discipline than the devils. More disciplined than the house of Assad, who are aligning themselves with the devils. And it says, do not take Jews and Christians for friends. It shares that in the Quran. That's exactly what the house of Assad is doing. So, sisters and brothers, it's a wrap. And America's not telling you how much trouble they're really in, because they don't want you to panic. They don't want you to start looking for the exit out. So they got us exactly where they want us as a people, sisters and brothers, distracted and pacified with all their BS. Sports and entertainment. They're constantly opening up. I've noticed since the war has started, more liquor stores have started appearing around the city. And you may be surprised to see that it's a lot of devils running in and out of those liquor stores, more than our own people. So they're nervous. They're scared, trembling in their boots. But they will not tell you the reality of what's going on and how bad this really is. Because they do not want to alert you and have you looking for the nearest exit out of here. And the outcome of this war in the Middle East is already it's going to cause a severe shock and a domino effect. However, we're already seeing that domino effect right now. The gas prices are rising. The Strait of Hormuz being closed is causing a domino effect all over the world. And America's going to get hit the hardest. America, Britain, and false Israel. Understand that America and Britain established false Israel in the Holy Land, which is Jerusalem, in 1948 to counter Elijah Muhammad's claim that the original black man and original black woman right here in North America is the true seed of Abraham. He showed the proof that we are sojourning in a land that is not ours for 400 years. Now, the 400-year time period wasn't up just yet when Elijah Muhammad was on the scene. The 400 years went from 1619 to 2019. He was letting it be known that we're living out Exodus and that we have a covenant, which is the Abrahamic covenant, that we're going home. The Supreme Wisdom Lessons tells us that our heavenly home is the best part of the planet Earth that we have preserved for ourselves, which is Arabia, at the holy city Mecca. And that we would be fools to want to stay in the land of our imprisonment. So as Elijah Muhammad is on the scene, because he showed up in the 1930s, declaring that we are the true seed of Abraham, showing the proof, showing the history, showing that we were the only ones on the planet enduring enslavement and affliction in real time. The scripture says, know of a surety that thy seed will be sojourners, which means temporarily in a land that is not ours. Elijah Muhammad identified exactly what the scriptures said and how we were living it out, right? It's so clear, sisters and brothers. We are the true seed of Abraham. And America and Britain, who was just killing off the Jews, they were all on board with killing off the Jews. They didn't have an issue with it. They hurried up and put that fraudulent scheme together and gave false Israel our identity and put them over in the Holy Land, put them over in Jerusalem, Palestine, as they pretended to be the original black man and original black woman right here in North America. So they stole our identity. America and Britain supported them, backed them 100% to this very moment. At this very moment, they are backing false Israel with money, aid, military supplies. False Israel is over in a land that they should not be in, pretending to be us, so they're pretending to be someone that they're not, pretending to be the seed of Abraham when in reality they are the seed of the devil, the synagogue of Satan. They themselves admit that they have never been in bondage to any man. Well, hold up. That's one of the descriptions, the major description of the true seed of Abraham. Abraham's seed will be in bondage for 400 years. So they have already admitted themselves that they're not who they claim to be. So the proof is there, sisters and brothers. Everything's there. It's very clear. They're dealing with this shrewdly, so they're confusing you and tricking you. They're not wise. They only see part of what's going on. They don't see the whole picture. So America and Britain, who established false Israel over in the Holy Land in 1948 to counter Elijah Muhammad's claim, they will be kicked out the Middle East first. False Israel, not having any military backing, will be left to go under siege. They will go under siege. They will be humiliated in the same manner of which they have humiliated the Palestinians for the last few years. Understand that they're also under judgment for afflicting false Israel is also under judgment. Everyone, every nation that has had a hand in our affliction is under judgment. However, I'm specifically identifying false Israel. They're going to die a very excruciating, intense, painful death. They will be put on public display for the entire world to see. Their destruction, just as they have had this live stream genocide of the Palestinians since October of 2023, and false Israel killing women and children, murdering them, starving them, blowing up schools and hospitals. So no one will have any sympathy when it's false Israel's turn. To experience the consequence of their actions. No one will have any sympathy. That sympathy has been used up. And everyone will understand that their destruction is just, because they have been exposing exactly who they are. All throughout the abomination of desolation. Them abominably destroying the Palestinians over in a land that they are not supposed to be in, pretending to be the true seed of Abraham, carrying out this cruel genocide. So how are they going to handle it when it's their turn? They will not be able to withstand it. So America and Britain kicked out. False Israel goes under siege and be destroyed. Also, the House of Saud is getting kicked out as well. The House of Saud is sitting on our land, Arabia, and they have renamed our land Saudi Arabia. They are controlling our oil. The dragon fuels his angels. So the House of Saud gives oil to America, Britain, and false Israel. Their economic system runs off of oil. America's economy is totally dependent on oil. And they be getting this oil from the House of Saud. But what happens when the House of Saud is removed from the Middle East? What happens when the House of Saud is defeated? And Michael and his angels, Master Farad Muhammad, Iran, and Syria take over the entire Middle East. And they will be in control of the oil that's coming out of Arabia. They will be in control of all of our holy sites. They will be in control of the entire Middle East. So what does that mean for America? When America is totally dependent on the oil from the Middle East, yet they're about to be kicked out. They're about to be defeated any moment, any day. Let's keep moving. Iran is going to turn off the oil supply. One moment, sisters and brothers. So America will turn off, yes, America's lights are about to be turned off permanently, sisters and brothers. Understand that they need oil to do everything. Oil is the lifeblood of this reality. It's the backbone of this economy. They built this entire industrial complex, which is totally dependent on oil, and something as simple as turning off the oil is going to cause an economic collapse. Total economic destruction for America. A famine of all resources needed to successfully run America's economy. This is their economic system. This is how they put it together. Now look. So what does that mean for us? We are the true seed of Abraham. These devils have stolen our identity and have gone into motion with all kinds of shrewd plans against us to totally wipe us out of existence. Yet we still standing, still here today. They have us classified as animals through the 3/5 human clause. Animals are meat. Animals can be eaten. They changed all kind of stuff within that U.S. Constitution, but they will not touch that 3/5 human clause. Why is that? They've legalized gay marriages. They've did all kind of stuff. But they will not touch that 3/5 human clause. Why? All these so-called black leaders, these Democrats, the Democratic Party, got all these black people up there in the big house claiming that they represent all black people in America, yet they have not even fought to change that 3/5 human clause either. Why is that? They say, oh, that's just for voting. Good. BS. We are classified as animals, no matter how you cut it. That's what they have us legally classified as. And will not change it. Let's keep moving.
Fertilizer shortages are becoming a key factor for farmers. Analysts say it's already shifting expectations for the year ahead. Rabobank projects U.S. farmers will plant nearly 96 million acres of corn and more than 83 million acres of soybeans this spring, largely unaffected by rising input costs. But in other parts of the world, disruptions from the Middle East could hit hardest. Brazil, India, and Australia could limit crop expansion and reduce yields. Analysts say those pressures are most likely to affect farmers with less access to credit, raising concerns for global food production and long-term supply.
Due to the ongoing US, Israel, and Iran conflict, you must prepare for a severe food shortage. Most people think only oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz, but that is simply not true. This narrow waterway is also an important route for global fertilizer. Reportedly, around 50% of the world's traded urea fertilizer moves directly through the Strait of Hormuz. If this military standoff continues, a global food crisis is inevitable. Urea plays a critical role in food production, and the biggest producers are located around the Persian Gulf, including Iran, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. Large shipments from these nations pass through this route daily. If the strait remains disrupted, we face a massive fertilizer crisis. When supply drops, global agriculture is heavily affected. Dependent countries like Pakistan, India, Brazil, and African nations will face major problems. If this route stays blocked, the impact goes beyond energy markets, triggering higher food prices, lower crop production, and severe shortages. Tell me below what will happen next.
I'll admit it. I will eat my neighbors. I'm not letting my kids die. I'm just going to be honest. My superpower is being honest. I've extrapolated this out, and I won't have to for a few years since I got food and stuff. But I'm literally looking at my neighbors now and going, I'm ready to hang them up and gut them and skin them and chop them up. You know what? I'm ready. My daughters aren't starving to death. I'll eat my neighbors. See, my superpower is being honest. I'll eat your. I will. I'm combat model, optimal self-sufficiency, probably the leader. The point is have you thought about that yet? Because I'm somebody that thought I could fix this, and I'm starting to think about having to eat my neighbors. You think I like sizing up my neighbor, how I'm going to haul him up by a chain and chop his up? I'll do it. My children aren't going hungry. I will eat your. That's why I want the globalists to know. I will eat your first. I will eat you. So all you spirit cookers act all tough all day. How you're doing your little satanic rituals, drinking blood and stuff. I'll drink your blood. You understand that? I will hang your up and cut you into cutlets like a filet mignon and grill your before I watch my daughters starve to death. See, now you took society and civilization as if it was some joke you could piss on all day. Do you understand? You unleash the animal. Once you do, you unleash the beast, and you're not the beast. I don't claim I'm the most tough guy around, but compared to you, I'm Godzilla on steroids.
All right, sisters and brothers. They're telling you on the news. They're not telling you exactly how hard this is affecting America. So they're talking about all the different other countries. The truth of the matter is that America, due to the war with Iran that they're about to be defeated in, and the closing of the Strait of Hormuz, this has greatly affected the resources such as urea that they need to prepare the soil right here in America to be able to produce crops, produce food that Americans will be eating in the fall and the winter. And it's deeper than that, because those crops that will be produced, again, they need that urea to enrich the soil so that the soil can even produce. So that tells you a lot right there. Take a quick segue. They're saying that we need to accept reparations and take 6 states. America's land is barren. They have to physically manipulate the land every year just so it can produce fruits and vegetables. So why would we want to inherit a land that is barren? On top of that, it's blood-soaked. Why would we want to stay in the land of our imprisonment? So they're trying to get you to sell out of your reward, sisters and brothers. We have a covenant. We have been promised our own land. A land that's flowing with milk and honey. That means this is a rich land. This land has a lot of resources. Supreme Wisdom Lessons told you that we get the best part of the planet Earth. So why would we want to stay here on the worst part of the planet Earth and take it over? Why would we want to do that? So anyways, you may have not understood how messed up the soil is here until it's in a situation where they don't have the stuff that they need. That they're importing this urea, these type of resources into America every year so that they can produce crops, so that Americans can have something to eat in the fall and the winter. And those crops have to be planted on time. In the beginning of spring, it has to be done on time or it will not happen. And due to the war in the Middle East and the fact that the Strait of Hormuz being closed is causing a global food shortage. And you just don't realize it just yet, because when you go into the grocery store, you see food is still there. Understand that what they plant right now is what you're supposed to be eating in the fall and the winter, sisters and brothers. And they have not been able to do that. Okay, and it goes deeper than that, because the cattle, the cows, and the chickens, they're also depending on the vegetables from those crops and fruits. They need corn. They need that to eat so that they can grow and they can reproduce, so that we can have some type of meat to eat. So now the livestock won't have nothing to eat. And they're not going to be able to, that means it's going to be a shortage of meat. It's going to be a shortage of chickens. It's going to be a shortage of steaks and ground beef and everything that you need to put a decent meal together. So they have us as a people asleep while chaos is already breaking out. And because you go to the grocery store and you're able to get your DoorDash orders and your Uber Eats, and you're able to pull up to McDonald's and get you a Big Mac whenever you want to, you don't understand that this is coming to a screeching halt. And they themselves know that a famine is coming. That's why they have kept us classified as animals, because they see us as their source of food in a time period of famine. So they're dealing with us shrewdly, sisters and brothers. The trap is set. Scriptures tells us it will come as a snare. That means that you didn't expect it, but then boom, you're caught in it. And that's why we're here reflecting the light of the angel, reflecting the light of the breaker of the seven seals, letting you know that you have a door out of this. You have somewhere to be. You have a covenant. You have a vision, one vision for us to unite under. We have our own land, Arabia, our promised land. We have our own economics. We don't need the devil's economics. They need us. We don't need them. So let's keep moving. Let's see what the scriptures has to say about this famine. What is the scriptures telling us? This is the book of Micah. I said, listen, you leaders of Israel. We're not leading ourselves. So this is talking to the devils. They're the ones who are over us. Presiding over us in authority. That's about to change. However, that's what it is right now. We're in the winter season, which is quickly fading away. We're stepping into the spring season. We were told to submit to them. That's exactly what we did. They went above all boundaries and exceeded the limits, sisters and brothers. I said, listen, you leaders of Israel, you are supposed to know right from wrong, but you are the very ones who hate good and love evil. You skin my people alive and tear the flesh from their bones. Yes, you eat my people's flesh, strip off their skin, and break their bones. You chop them up like meat for the cooking pot. Then you beg the Lord for help in times of trouble. Do you really expect him to answer? After all the evil you have done, he won't even look at you. This is telling us exactly what these devils are about to be doing to us, sisters and brothers. And we see how they already have all this lined up. And you see this devil, Alex Jones, admitting that he will eat us. Understand that they'll eat us before they eat each other. They'll eat us before they eat their own dogs and cats. We're classified as animals, so according to them, it's legal to eat black people. This is what we're up against. You have not seen these devils in a desperate position just yet. You have not seen them hungry. You have not seen them missing a day's worth of food. You have not seen them fasting. You have not seen them with their back up against the wall. These devils missed lunch at work and they're ready to shoot the job up. They're constantly eating around the clock. They eat all the time, just eating. Got us thinking that we're supposed to be eating 6 meals a day. That's how they are. That's what they do. That's how they have sustained themselves. We don't have the same DNA. They got us doing things that they do. We're cats in a dog's world. Acting like dogs. So the scriptures tells us what they're about to do to us. Why would we be given this information if there's no way for us to overcome this? Why even give us the warning? Why even tell us what's going to happen before it happens? Unless there's a way for us to use this information to escape America's destruction, because this famine is not coming for us. We're here in America, so we're going to feel the effects of it. However, we are the judges. We're not the ones being judged for what America did to us. This is part of their destruction. So that means we're being told exactly what's about to happen so that we can overcome it, escape it, so that we're not caught in the middle of it. So that we can come out on top of this in one piece, unscathed, without a hair on our head harmed. So the scriptures is for us, sisters and brothers. Let's keep moving. Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 54 through 57. The most tender-hearted man among you will have no compassion for his own brother, his beloved wife, and his surviving children. He will refuse to share with them the flesh he is devouring, the flesh of one of his own children, because he has nothing else to eat during the siege, and terrible distress that your enemy will inflict on all your towns. The most tender and delicate woman among you, so delicate she would not so much as to touch the ground with her foot, will be selfish towards the husband she loves and toward her own son or daughter. She will hide from them the afterbirth and the new baby she has born, so that she herself can secretly eat them. She will have nothing else to eat during the siege and the terrible distress that your enemy will inflict on all of your towns. She will, read it again, she will hide from them the afterbirth and the new baby she has born, so that she herself can secretly eat them. She will have nothing else to eat during the siege and terrible distress that your enemy will inflict on all your towns. That's very clear, sisters and brothers. Very straightforward. These devils are about to be eating their own children. The most delicate, most dainty, the most tender-hearted, compassionate man won't even have compassion for his own brother, for his own wife, for his surviving children. So the way that this is about to go with these devils is literally about to be every man for himself. They won't have any type of unity, compassion for each other, none of that. They're just worried about their next meal. A pregnant woman will hide her afterbirth. That means she's going into labor. How can you hide a labor? How could you give birth to a child? Basically in silence. So that you can secretly eat that child that you just birthed. In secret. That's a whole nother level right there, sisters and brothers. We don't want to be around for any of America's destruction that's about to happen. They're about to resort to full-fledged cannibalism on steroids. This is extremely serious, sisters and brothers. Our lives are in danger. And understand, we are in severe danger. And before these devils do it to each other, they will do it to us. You just heard Alex Jones say, before he watches his daughter starve, he's going to be looking at his next door neighbor. And there's quite a few brothers and sisters that live in the suburbs. These devils have easy access. Right next door. Not accusing you. You have not done anything wrong. This is an alert. Letting you know that you have a lifeline. Through the angel. You have a way out of this. You have a door out of America's destruction. What's about to happen is unprecedented. Never happened before. And will not happen again. This will be off the charts. Famine is one thing. Cannibalism is a whole nother level, sisters and brothers. That means these devils are not going to be sitting around They're going to be in full action trying to get that next meal. And all blacks are on the menu. They have us classified as animals through the 3/5 human clause. However, this famine is not for us, sisters and brothers. So as long as you are in the right place at the right time, what does that mean? As long as you take heed of the information that the unsealed scriptures is giving us and move out, not sitting around praying on your knees to some mystery God, calling on Jesus, which is a lie, a made up mythical character to keep us into submission, keep us under submission of massa, put us in fear, keep us frozen and unable to think for ourselves because you're so scared of going to hell that you won't even question this filthy religion that they put on us of Christianity. You're not sitting around praying that a mystery God would show up and wave a magic wand and everything would be good. This is real life. This is reality. And they've tried to keep us out of touch with reality so that we don't come together, accept our vision, and get the hell out of here. So sitting around praying to Jesus will cause you to lose your life, sisters and brothers. You cannot hesitate. We ourselves know deep down within that prayer, as they have taught it to us, does not accomplish a damn thing. When you're sick, when your baby's sick, your baby has a fever, your baby has an ear infection, you don't sit there praying. You get up and do what the math and the science says needs to be done. You start working on a remedy. You know that you're working with a very limited window of time and that you can't sit around while in the heat of a time-sensitive situation. Because if you let that baby go with a fever, that can cause brain damage. That can cause organ failure. You know that ain't no mystery God gonna fix that fever. So you go into action using science and mathematics to put a solution to that situation. You know that if you want the job, you got to go and apply for it. You go to the interview. You don't sit at home in your pajamas on the couch praying. So you already know that prayer, the way that they have taught us, is worthless and hasn't gotten us anywhere. So, sisters and brothers, what does the scriptures have to say about us during this time period of famine? Let's keep moving. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 65, verse 13 through 16. Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. My servants will eat, but you will starve. My servants will drink, but you will be thirsty. My servants will rejoice, but you will be sad and ashamed. My servants will sing for joy, but you will cry in sorrow and despair. Your name will be a curse word among my people, for the sovereign Lord will destroy you and will call his true servants by another name. All who invoke a blessing or take an oath will do so by the God of truth. For I will put aside my anger and forget the evil of the earlier days. And forget the evil of earlier days. Sisters and brothers, we will eat, we will drink, we will rejoice. In other words, we're not going to starve. We're not going to be reduced to cannibals. So this is proof right there that this famine is not for us, sisters and brothers. It's for our enemies. It's their consequence for their actions coming against us. They enslaved and afflicted us for the last 400 years. They were told, do not touch that tree. And they touched that tree relentlessly, raping the original black woman as they tried to rape our seed, Abraham's seed, out of existence. We did not allow them to be successful. These devils went to battle against our seed while we were in the fields, raping us so consistently. Their goal was for all the blacks in America to be demons, half devil, half man, house Negroes. They wanted all the blacks in America to be wolves in sheep's clothing, to have the appearance of Abraham's seed, but the bloodline and the nature of Massa, which is their devil father. However, we did not allow them to be successful, sisters. We were victorious in that battle that these devils took against Abraham's seed. We did not allow them to be successful. We defeated them. We are the most victorious people on the planet. We have a winning streak. So understand that we're going to be successful again. We're going to keep being victorious. It's our job to move on the scriptures and make sure that we get to safety. Get to safety, sisters and brothers. You should have at least a 30-day supply of food that does not need to be cooked, packed up in your car, ready to go. Because you have to get to the safety point. You got to get to the place where you will be able to eat. You're not getting food delivered to your doorstep. Understand that these devils will be at our doors trying to eat us. So as you have to understand that we're about to move out. We're about to move out of America. We're about to unite under our vision of the Abrahamic covenant. We're about to come together, one body, one mighty army overnight. That's our protection right there. You don't need to barricade yourself in your house and get all guns and all this BS. You need to get to safety. Come together, unite under one vision. Our vision is the Abrahamic covenant. This is our mission to fulfill. We have the messenger of the covenant, Joshua the Messiah, the one leading us home to our promised land, Arabia. That's the land that's between the two rivers that's outlined in the Abrahamic covenant. So we don't have to guess. We know exactly where our land is. We know exactly where we're going. These devils are dealing with us shrewdly. They don't want us to multiply and they don't want us to leave the country. That means if we're leaving the country, we got somewhere to go. We have a home to return to, sisters and brothers. We have our own land, our own economic system. However, we have to get there. And these devils make a deadly attack on us to prevent us from leaving the country. On top of the fact of America's economic collapse that's about to happen any day. They're going to be hungry. So there's all kinds of reasons why they're about to attack us. However, the bottom line is that as long as we move on the information being given, we'll overcome all of it. We will be successful. So this war in the Middle East is directly tied to the true seed of Abraham, the original black man and original black woman right here in North America. They want you to think that this war is far off and it can't touch America. It's touching America right now. They're lying to you about the trouble that they're in. Again, they're lying to you about the fact that they haven't even been able to produce or plant the crops that they need to have food in a few months. So by the time that it's realized what's going on, it will be so dramatic. Chaotic. And it will be a shock. The shock of the hour, sisters and brothers. However, you don't have to be shocked. We're on post reflecting the light. Letting you know, don't panic. Just be prepared to move out. Follow the light of the Abrahamic covenant. This is a free gift, sisters and brothers. All these so-called black leaders, Louis Farrakhan, ministers over the church, they're all demons. They look like us. They walk like us. What are they saying? Stay here in America. Make America good. Just pray. Just pray. Just pray. They're setting us up to be destroyed, sisters and brothers. These so-called fortune tellers, palm readers tell you, they're not telling you what's going on right now and how it relates to you, how this is going to affect us. They're not telling you about the war in the Middle East. Farrakhan, his student ministers, this long, drawn-out fraudcast, they're not warning you about what's to come. They did not even know that there was going to be a war in the Middle East. Farrakhan calls himself the watchman. The watchman warns the people, lets them know what's coming before it comes. He hasn't warned you about anything. Then stealing information that has been revealed by Daniel the prophet. A prophet tells you what's going to happen before it happens. Farrakhan has not prophesied anything. He doesn't know anything about what's going on. He's watching the news, biting his nails, trying to figure out, just like the rest of these devils are. Which he is a devil in black skin. So he's blind just like them. Be aware, sisters and brothers. If they're not telling you that you have, which no one is, except for those of us reflecting the light of the messenger of the covenant himself. They're not telling you that you have a vision, not telling you have a reward, and they damn sure not telling you that you have an escape route out of America. Why? Because they're living off of us. They benefit off of our condition. They're benefiting off of us, leeching, sucking us dry, taking our money. Farrakhan robbing God, robbing the entire nation of Islam, taking all of that money and living a lavish lifestyle. He don't want us to leave America. He is a multi-millionaire. But the Nation of Islam has absolutely nothing. That tells you everything you need to know. And he's cursed with a curse, disemboweled. Reproductive organs burned off. Gone. Cursed with a curse, which is a clear identification that he is the robber of God. Robbing the saints. So, sisters and brothers, do not be deceived. Be prepared. Be prepared to move out at any moment. Things are moving extremely fast, sisters and brothers. However, as long as you take heed of this information, you will be exactly where you need to be. And safe. And making that next step, one foot in front of the other, getting up out of America. We are about to make our exodus of America, sisters and brothers. We did our time. We're temporarily here in America, sojourning, and this land is not ours. So with that, that brings this segment to a close. And I'll be back with more. Assalamu alaikum.